Hey there guys, it's Kenzi here from Kenzi Writes. So let's talk about reviews and testimonials. If you're like me and you have a small service-based business without a retail location, you probably don't have any Google reviews or Yelp reviews. And I know a lot of us get by without them, but it's actually really good to have reviews and testimonials on your website and on your social media. So get this, 88% of customers trust testimonials and reviews as much as recommendations from their friends and family. So that's very powerful, right? If you have a client who's on the fence, sometimes seeing one good testimonial can seal the deal. The problem is that with our business model, people don't usually leave reviews. So if you don't have a brick and mortar location, how can you convince people to leave a review? Here are a couple of ways that you can ask your customers to leave a testimonial. The first way that I do this is I like to wait for a milestone. Sometimes I'll wait until after a project is completed and after they're used to working with me, of course, or at the end of the year or at the end of a quarter. And the reason I say to wait for a milestone is that sometimes it feels out of the blue if you suddenly ask a client for a testimonial. They're like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but sure. If you wait for a milestone or the end of a project, they kind of expect it a little bit more, and so it is less jarring. And this should go without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Don't ask for a testimonial from a client if things aren't going well. Instead, invest your energy into salvaging that relationship and helping them get, whatever it is they need. But please do not ask them for a testimonial if they are mad at you. The second way to ask for testimonials is to just send a quick email asking for one. I've learned in business, there's nothing wrong with being direct. I feel like a lot of my fellow women business owners, we have this aversion to asking for what we need. Do it anyway. You can do it via email and cringe the whole time you do it, but you can still ask it. So in my case, I send people a very quick 2 to 3 sentence email asking for a testimonial. I say something like, hey Jane, we've been working together for a few months and I was just curious if you were open to sharing your experience working with me with a short 2 to 3 sentence testimonial. I'd love to send a backlink back to your website in exchange for your time. Let me know if you're interested. Thanks. See, very short, very sweet, and you'd be surprised how many people will write a testimonial if you just ask. The third tip is to provide an example. I've asked people for testimonials in the past and they've said yes, but then they say, I'm not really sure what you want me to say. Like, what do you want? And so in this case, I like to provide examples. So I already have existing testimonials, but if you don't have any, you can send examples that you like, that you found on other websites and say, oh, here, I'm looking for something like this. If you send examples, I guarantee it's going to increase the amount of testimonials that you collect, and it's also going to increase the quality because people know exactly what you're looking for. My fourth tip is to give people something in return for their testimonial. I try to incentivize testimonials where I can, and the way that I do that is by offering a backlink to their website. Not everybody wants one of those, and that's fine, but usually I work with small businesses who are more than happy to have a backlink to their website. So if you can offer something small in exchange for their testimonial, it usually, seals the deal and makes people more likely to write one. My fifth tip is to ask in person or face-to-face. This is really good for clients who don't check their email. So when you're on a Zoom call with them, I like to ask towards the end of a call, and I'll say something like, oh, hey, John, before we go, I was going to ask you, would you mind writing a testimonial about my work with you? I'd love to put it on my website. And it's funny because when you ask someone face-to-face, they have a hard time saying no, and sometimes they'll just say the testimonial right then and there, you write it down, you get their permission, and then you put it on your website. It's very easy. The last tip is kind of a weird one, but that is to write the testimonial for the client. And let me explain what I mean. So I'm a freelance writer. I work with people who hate writing. That's why they hire me. And more often than not, I ask people to write a short testimonial and they say, I'm really not a good writer. I don't know what to say. And they will ask me, will you write the testimonial for me? Send it to me and I'll approve it, and then you can put it on your website. I know that feels kind of weird, but as long as the client is cool with it, I've done that a few times in the past. The key is to get your client to approve it. Obviously, don't write a testimonial that they don't know anything about and put it on your website. That's not good. The key here is consent and approval. So I know that asking for a testimonial feels kind of icky for some reason, but it is a completely normal thing to do, especially in a service-based business. If you've been doing a good job and you have good relationships and you do good work, I promise you that your clients are going to want to help you out by writing a short testimonial. So what are you guys doing to collect testimonials? I am curious, so let me know in the comments.